Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Titans Season 4, and this is going to be my review for Episode 5 for this season, otherwise entitled Inside Man. So of course, go away if not watch the episode, because I'm going to be talking about all the major things that happen, all the spoilers, so yeah, go away. But if you haven't watched the episode, you are continuing on, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions about this episode, what you like, what you dislike, any theories and predictions moving forward, let me know in the comments. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, you enjoy the episode, want to show your support, why not drop a like on the video to do all that? So in the episode leading up to this, we had like I guess you'd say the Mother Mayhem origins, I guess you could say, and sort of like the connections to season 1 with the Asylum and also highlighting her devotion to Trigon. But we also see Superboy stabbed by zombie Deathstroke. I know, random. But now he's sort of connected to this Church of Blood part of this season pretty much directly, being infected, if you want to call it, and he does spew up a blood snake. I think that's probably the best way to refer to it as a blood snake. Yeah, and that pretty much sets up this episode. We know that he's going to be controlled. How that plays out, that was for this episode to show us. But this episode was sort of like a bottle episode of sorts, which you don't get too often with streaming shows, but it wasn't like a complete bottle episode. It was like halfway in between, like a very close quarters, like claustrophobic episode, like stuck within Star Labs, is not stuck within small rooms, dark areas, things like that. Like some parts of the episode gave off a bit like of a horror vibe. Yeah, so it was an interesting episode. Like definitely didn't feel like a normal episode of Titans, because usually Titans is like usually outside, or like in a bigger place. So yeah, it was a bit different. But really, the only major storyline slash major moment that just sits on its own is the snake. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, the snake that Superboy coughed up last episode, we see that it's grown bigger and now it's loose within Star Labs. And this pretty much just set up the whole close quarters, quote unquote bottle episode, horror style, at times type of episode. That was pretty much it. I know there's other story things, but they're more related to characters, which we'll get into right now. But on the character side of things, it was pretty spread out. Like, there wasn't like every single character had like a major moment or a major part of their story continuing. But it was definitely probably the most spread out, I would say, of the opening 5 episodes that we've had so far. And I think that's just because it was that closeted episode, close quarters episode, and it had to bounce around so it didn't become overly boring. If we spent, half the episode with one person or one or two people, it would have been boring as hell. And it definitely would have been a straight up bottle episode. Yeah. So I think spreading it out was the best way to go about things. But Superboy is, of course, the quote unquote inside man, as the title of the episode does suggest, under the control of Mother Mayhem and everything that's going on, over at the Church of Blood. Now, I thought a snake was going to burst out of his stomach like a xenomorph from Alien, or the Aliens franchise, when he was lying on the table after being taken out by Jinx. I think that's what they were playing at. That they were just saying, hey, the audience here might think that the snake is literally gonna burst through his stomach right here. And I did like the trickery around the Titans when he was trying to make it out like he was actually Connor speaking, like it wasn't like an influenced Connor from Mother Mayhem. I thought that was pretty good. But yeah, Superboy just plays that role in the episode, which I think is decent enough. But it's not like he's the one that straight up brings Brother Blood, or Sebastian, might I say, to Mother Mayhem, like we thought it might be happening early in the episode. Like when he was taking Sebastian, I thought, oh, okay, we're moving out of this pretty quickly, because the episode just seemed like it was setting up we're going to be here for the whole episode. But yeah, obviously he's taken out. Now with Raven and Sebastian, we have them at the end of last episode in that room, and obviously that ends pretty quickly into this episode because of Superboy, or controlled Superboy's antics. And you do get that like brotherly sisterly bond and relationship, almost bond, like, being formed there. Mucking around, like nothing, romantic or anything like that. But obviously their storyline ends up sort of being aligned with Starfire's in this episode as well. And we have the continuation of a couple of episodes ago with, I guess, the push for Starfire to rid Sebastian to prevent what is coming and the whole Trigon stuff, but also just what's in store for her and her future as well. So I'm very curious to see where she goes going forward, because I feel like Starfire has been a character where they've set stuff up where they're going to dive deeper into her character, and then they never fully commit to it. Like last season, I thought they were going to have a massive storyline with her and Blackfire, and it ended up just being like a side storyline, and like a minor storyline, if you want to put it, like nothing halfway. Like it felt like a minor storyline. It just felt like it went nowhere, which is a bit unfortunate, because I think Starfire, should be one of like it's probably the second main character behind Dick, or at least on the level with Raven. But at the moment, it's definitely Dick and then Raven. So yeah, I think that's the only issue there with the Starfire storylines. That I think it just lacks a bit of focus. But in regards to that whole thing that was happening with Raven and Sebastian, Mother Mayhem does show up after sacrificing her fellow cult follower, and Sebastian actually gives himself up to protect, I guess, Raven, but also Starfire as well, with him repeating the 3 magic words. Now, this willingness to give himself over, like, obviously it's going to be interesting to see how he faces Raven the next time they meet, because you'd assume the next time they meet, he is changed. And how does that change that next altercation? You know, that's a very interesting thing that I'm very curious to see, whether it's next episode, whether it's 5 episodes from now, but I look forward to that return altercation and return meeting. Now, Tim and Bernard in this episode, like we get like they're like the first potential targets of the snake when they run away, but you can see them building further on this possible relationship in the episode. And I know the age difference is a concern for people, though I don't think it's been confirmed what that age gap is. I think we know Tim's like 17 or 18, but we don't know how old Bernard is. But seeing he's in this position at Star Labs, he surely isn't 20 or something like that. He's definitely a bit older, like at least late 20s, you'd have to think. But they definitely don't ease into this, you know, potential relationship, because after saving Bernard from a probable death, he probably does die, they do kiss. So yeah, I don't know how people are going to react to that one. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of discourse around this, so it happened. There you go. I think them kissing was in a trailer, so I think that maybe was already out there, but at least we know it happened in this episode, so there you go. Now, Beast Boy probably had, I think he's probably the best character in this episode, just in regards to enjoyment on screen. So we had Jinx telling him about the red, which is like the plane of existence where he saw like the Tree of Bones and the red sky, and this is sort of like, it's sort of like Beast Boy's Speed Force, I guess you could say. It's probably the best way to relate to it. It's like where his powers are from, where he taps into for his abilities. Now, this being talked about is just before they come across that faceless victim, which I knew something was going to be, like, he was either going to be like messed up in some way, like throat slit, something, because he was rolled over, you couldn't see his face. I knew something was going to be there, just a bit of a jump scare. Looked like a chimpanzee had been at his face or something like that, but yeah, pretty gruesome. Now, one of the, like, I guess, more interesting parts of the episode is when Beast Boy does turn himself into a virus with his powers, thanks to some advice from Niles Calder of the Doom Patrol, in order to kill the snake within Connor by, you know, transporting something from like Jinx's abilities within himself as a virus to infect the snake, kill it, everything like that, or at least get it out of Connor's body. Now, the thing here is that if Connor dies, so does Beast Boy or Gar. So that's a concern, but obviously there's no issues there. They're not going to kill off Beast Boy in that way. That'd be like the most ridiculous death of all time. But the end of the episode is probably the thing that people have been waiting for in regards to Sebastian. That's when, obviously, we said that he was taken by Mother Mayhem. So he's taken upon the Church of Blood with all those followers there, and he's proclaimed, as Brother Blood by the other followers. No transformation, no like visual change of him, but you can see him almost like, I don't know if it's like happy or like there's just a boost in confidence and almost like belonging because of that support. Because he's always like one thing that's brought up multiple times throughout this episode is that he was alone. And that's why there was that connection with Raven, because Raven showed some sympathy and friendship to him. But now he's seeing power. Now he's seeing power with the Church of Blood, and they're proclaiming in Brother Blood, him being above them as well. So I think that power is 100% going to go to his head really damn quickly. I think the big thing with Sebastian is when he kills for the first time, like when he actually does something that's legitimately bad, legitimately evil. And what is that? Is it sacrificing some innocent person? What's that going to be? Because I think that's the part where we see Sebastian really turn into Brother Blood, and he truly becomes the villain for this season and quite the threat. But overall, this episode was probably the most tame of the episodes, just in regards to massive things. That's because I think they just wanted to ease in. Like everything that happens in this episode could have easily just been half of another episode. Like, it definitely felt like it was stretched out, but they kept it within Star Labs, kept it within that contained area for the most part for that reason. Pretty simple. It wasn't amazing. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say the episode was amazing, because it wasn't, but I think it played its part in the story for this season. No major errors, and I think if that's where Titans goes good. When it plays it safe, that's always a good thing. But yeah, I think we've only got like another episode or two until they go on break. Like, I know a break for a streaming show, crazy. But I think they have like a mid-season break for this, like over the new year. I don't know when the next half of the season comes out. I think it's like maybe I guess January or February. So I think we only got an episode or two left. So I'm expecting at least something big in that last episode, whether it's next week or the week after. So don't disappoint me. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show your support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions on this episode. What you love, what did you hate, everything like that. Always curious to read. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.